Tonight we're having chicken and dumplings. Let me show you how to make them.
Like a brown beard, like probably gayish.
I don't have quite enough broth for a full pot of chicken and dumplings, so I'm going to add some more. I'll probably start with about half of this. But the broth from the chicken that was boiling is so rich and flavorful. Okay, that's about half. We'll start there. Now we're going to bring this up to a low simmer. I've got my chicken cooling. I will pull the meat from the bone and set that in a bowl. We're about to make the dumplings. I've never used this before, and I'm going to dust it with flour, and let's see how this goes. Not cool. Yes, please, except my foil is moving. Milk on flour. That's pretty great. This makes me want to bake stuff. Perfect. I'm going to dust some more flour over the top, and I'm going to cut it into little chunks. Get your bowl ready. I've just added some flour. We don't want it to stick at all. You need lots of flour. Be very generous. Okay. Perfect. Let's take the meat off the bone. Let's take a little while. While I'm working on the chicken, I want to talk about the chicken. You know how if you use chicken breast to make chicken noodle soup, it never turns out how your moms did or your grandmas did, and it's because they used a whole chicken. They cooked everything with the bones in it. The bones do so much for your broth. Use a whole chicken or chicken thighs whenever you can. Alright, here's what I've got. This was a very small chicken. This is white and dark meat, and this is what's left over. You can keep cooking this down and have a delicious broth if you have time. I'm not doing it, not tonight. Here's how our broth is looking. I'm turning this up. I want it to simmer, really, really simmer before I add the dumplings. But I'm going to go ahead and add in my chicken and let that heat back up. I added a whole onion when I started cooking the chicken and let it boil with it. I'm going to add a little more onion powder, just a little. You want subtle flavors for your dumpling. Chicken and dumplings is subtle. It's nothing crazy. And I'm going to add some garlic, just a tad. Garlic, just a little. It's plenty. Let's mix it up. Boiling. So when I learned how to make these, I also learned that the flour, you don't shake your flour off. You put it in there. Just drop them in. Flour, excess flour, you see all that extra flour? It's going in. That is what's going to make your sauce. So we're going to add some, and we're going to stir, and we're going to add more. And we're going to stir. You don't want them to stick together. If all of that excess flour that you typically would think that you would need to shake it off, don't shake it off. Just going to push them down and stir. Look at that. I've just put these in. It's already thick. You can add parsley to make it look fancier, but I never do. Just gonna get them all coated. We're gonna put a lid on and let them do their thing. Stir about every minute or two. You don't want to leave it unattended. You want to push them down, let them all cook evenly. Really what you are looking for, you want them to sink. You want them to absorb all of the broth, and you don't want them to be floating. My broth is really thick, so I'm adding more. It's the whole box. Let me check again. Let's start. We want them to sink. I've got a gentle simmer. I might turn the heat up. I'm kind of hungry. They're sinking, just like I said. They're no longer floating. I'm gonna let it continue to cook for probably another 5 minutes, and they'll be ready.
Yeah. Probably for several cents.
Jacob, tell your sweet tea goodbye.
Me personally, this is
Very important. You have to
All
taste
that
it
combined was
to see if it needs salt.
6,300.
Dad, if Jacob did bench right now, and my highest bench reps are 12, I could probably still beat him.
Perfect.
She had her numbers up there. Bench press is like 55 pounds.
Yeah, that's a little girl.
That's like a little girl his age. Oh, really? Yeah. One guy was sitting there,
I can't even do that. I'm not allowed.
That's tough luck.
whose little girl is it?
Isn't that one dude that looked like if, like, Jesus had a brother? Isn't that one dude?